just the frustration of business and having to deal with paying extra, then the cost of gold and silver rising. I was burnt out. I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I'm gonna sell my business. Welcome back. My name is Monique and I run the jewelry business Bold by Monique, and it's like about to be a new year. So much has changed and I have not updated you on anything that's going on. Yeah, so I'm about to go to lunch with my girlfriends, so I'm gonna try to clean my office, but I definitely wanted to chit chat. I do that, and I think I want to document my journey. So we're gonna talk about everything that's going on, and then hopefully I can be consistent and I can document it so you guys can see my process. And yeah, so let's get started. While I clean off my desk, let's talk about what's going on. 2025, the tariffs, the change in the way business is done has definitely affected how I do business. Let's go back. So last year, I didn't do as well as I wanted to, and it was simply because I was depressed with where we were living. I don't know if you guys know the influencer Crystal Nicole. She did a whole video about living in the National in Dallas and her experience. Now, granted, she was in like one of the penthouses, but that's where I lived. And it was great at first, but it just turned out to be somewhere where I was not creative in there. It was very stuffy from my experience, and I was unhappy there. Luckily, James was making a lot of money from the AFL. He played football for Nashville that year, and so I didn't really have to work too hard because he was bringing in a lot more money. So I was just not motivated, and I hate where we were living. Now, fast forward, we move into this gorgeous apartment, and I am creative and I'm making content again, and I am loving life. And then Trump gets elected, and after the inauguration, he instilled tariffs. Now, we were in like a really good financial standpoint when we moved into this apartment, and we had been able to save a lot living at the National. This unit is a lot more for obvious reasons, but the tariffs came. At first it was like 100%, a tariff rate for the cost of the goods. Then it went to like 145%. And it was just, that time was erratic. So I knew that was going to impact my bottom line. So what we did in April to prepare for the tariffs was we bulk bought to last us about 6 to 7 months. So I used what we had, and I just tried to buy as many rings and products and stuff that we could possibly afford with what we had, kind of taking a chance, right? So that's what we did. After we purchased all the inventory that we needed, that did get us to July, and my manufacturers and everyone kind of had figured out ways to make the shipping process more efficient by July. So when we had run out of inventory, I needed to start ordering more. But the fact that it just kind of threw a wrench in all of my plans, it threw everything off financially. And I don't like being thrown off like that. And this business is something that I value. And it was just becoming so stressful because the plan wasn't planning, right? We had moved into this apartment. I had planned to do so much content. I decorated it the way that I saw in my head with the shelving and everything. Like, I loved what I had planned, but I also took all of my reserve in bulk buy, didn't get the chance to like switch up collections. Like, it's just so frustrating. So my business like no longer became fun. Like, I was back in that like depressed state that I was at the National, right? And so I'm a creative. I tend to, when things got really hard and I couldn't even like function creatively, I just did my 9 to 5. I was like, if people buy from me, they buy from me. If they don't, they don't. And I just kind of leaned on my 9 to 5. Like, I always have my full-time job. That's gonna pay my bills. And so, when was it? Okay, so fast forward. So now we're getting into like September, October, November. And so the tariffs aren't as high. I still pay a lot of tariffs. But the way companies overseas are, the methods they're using to ship now just create so much frustration because one, they'll either use I think it's called DPLs or DDPs. It's a slower way to ship, and I'm used to getting my shipments in like between 3 to 5 days. But now it's taking between 8 to 15 days. So it feels like it's literally going around the world. And just the frustration of business and having to deal with paying extra, then the cost of gold and silver rising. Then on top of that, when it gets to the States, I have to pay the tariff bill. I was burnt out. So I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I'm gonna sell my business. And he was like, okay, well, get a business broker, figure out how much it's valued at, and then we'll go from there. So I got a business broker, and when he was telling me the estimates from my sales from years past, I was very optimistic and hopeful. So they did my valuation, and what I had to do in the valuation process was basically send them, like, they connected themselves to my Shopify backend, had to send them like my profit and loss statements, and what else did I have to do? Oh, I had to write, but ChatGPT did it. I had to write how I did everything. So like I do have an assistant. I pack all my orders. I do all my content. Basically, I work on the business. And so you have to write out everything so that investors will know what they're getting into. And so I submitted everything, and I knew it was gonna be a little bit lower because they said that they were only gonna take the past, I knew it was gonna be a little bit lower because they said that they were only gonna take the past 12 months into account. And I was like, oh shoot, I haven't been doing my business the past 12 months. Like, I mean, I make sales, like, and I make good amounts of sales, but like, I know what a good month looks like for me. And so it just didn't look good on paper. So I get my valuation back, and they valued my business a little bit under $100,000. I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You guys are not gonna, no, absolutely not. So my business broker basically told me that because my hands are so much in the pot, the way my business is structured right now does not look appealing to investors. So that's what brings us here right now. So I'm still going to sell my business, but we are going to use the next 6 months to raise my monthly revenue to first increase the valuation. And then we're also going to be looking for fulfillment companies. I'm going to be looking into getting my products fulfilled by Amazon. And so those are the biggest things that I saw in the valuation. They said because I pack my orders every day and I do my content and I do all of this, my hands are so much in the business that if I was to give it over, it would cost, I guess, the new investor more to figure it out. So next time I hand over to get my business evaluated, it will have the cost of like fulfillment and content and all that other stuff included, because I just take my camera and I just shoot my jewelry. And then I do use influencers from time to time, but they basically said I need to take myself out of my business as its like main way of getting income and then get reevaluated. And then also like for my monthly revenue this past year, y'all, monthly, like if I'm just not doing anything. So for example, this month I haven't really posted on my Instagram, but we're at about like $15,000-$16,000 in revenue. I need to be in that 25K range. This year I'm going to be focusing more on getting it back to where it was, making sure I restock inventory, making sure I'm posting, making sure I'm doing all the things to get us to that $25,000, $28,000 months, because that's typical for me when we are in stock. So those are kind of my goals, to try to sell my business again, but get that valuation up and figure out how it won't solely rely on me to make the business run, so it looks more appealing to investors. But you know what? Maybe all I need is to have the right systems in place for the amount of production that we do. So maybe, who knows? I don't know. At the end of all of this, maybe I'll decide to keep my business. As of right now, I think I'm gonna sell it, but getting those numbers up for the next 6 months is the goal. Okay, so let's start with what's going to happen next. So from here until January, I will be ordering all of what we need to increase the revenue. So I need to restock chains. I need to restock our, so I just restocked our bestsellers. I need to restock, like a lot of our eternity bands are selling so well right now. I need to get a lot more options and get more options in gold, because outside of our affirmation rings, our eternity bands have been selling like crazy. They are very, very, very popular. And then so I think we'll see where, like, we'll start to see the fruits of our labor in like March, April, May, after I order everything. So that's kind of what's been going on. I think I'm gonna sell, but if I can get systems in place as far as fulfillment, I might just keep it because then I wouldn't be doing all the work and I wouldn't burn out as easily. So that's kind of where we are right now. I'm excited though. I'm gonna jump back into content. What I have realized is that I want to, start working on my own personal brand. I kind of want to see what else is out there for me as an entrepreneur, because you guys have seen my growth from me living in Virginia to moving to Dallas to now being where we are now. I think it's time to kind of try to like take on a different venture, and that's why I was excited about selling my business. I do want to get into real estate and investing, so that's kind of where my head is. I've also enjoyed like the content that I've made for my personal brand. James and I do like a lot of food reviews in Dallas, and that has just been so fun, and we're starting to get like invites to go places. And so I don't know, like I'm ready for something different. But I do want to take this year, and if I do end my jewelry business, I want to go out with a bang, and I want to get a valuation that I'd be very proud of. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing a little bit more coaching. If you want my help, and if you're struggling, definitely reach out. Right now, I do have on my Stand store, I'm doing 10 mentorships, and it's like a 14-day reset for the new year, and you get my vendor list, you get the business tracker, and then you get a one-on-one call with me, so we can kind of go through your business and make a plan for the new year. And so yeah, that's on my Stand store. So if you're looking for kind of like a bundle to like talk to me, get resources, they're all vendors that I use personally. So it's a very small list, but it goes through packaging, it goes through where I buy my jewelry, it goes through how I print my thank you cards. It goes through everything that you need to get started. So if you are looking to start in the new year, we can definitely set up some time, and that'll be available until like the end of January, because one-on-ones and mentorships is not something that I'm gonna keep doing all year, but it's definitely something that I feel like would be useful and helpful in the start of the new year. I'm gonna keep coming back maybe like once or twice a week and kind of give you guys an update on where we are as far as revenue, as far as the business, as far as my goals of that 25 to 28K months. And I'll be showing you guys like all of the insights of what we're doing. And if you have any topics about what you'd want me to cover, or if you want any insight about what we talked about here, let me know, and we'll go ahead and do that. And I'll talk to you guys later.